Hello there and welcome. If you're joining us, I'd love to know where you're watching from and what time it is for you right now. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more journeys back in time. Today we're stepping back all the way to 1892. You find yourself in the serene quiet of a grand London townhouse, just as the afternoon light begins to soften, painting the drawing room in hues of gentle gold. Your fingers, accustomed to such delicate tasks, reach for a porcelain teacup. The initial touch is cool, smooth, almost silk-like against your skin. You lift it, feeling its surprisingly lightweight, a mere whisper in your palm. It's painted with the most intricate design, a tiny spray of blue forget-me-nots trailing across its pearly surface, edged with a fine band of real gold. You move to the polished mahogany table, where a crisp, white linen tablecloth has been laid with meticulous care. Your gaze takes in the faint, silvery sheen of the spoons, each one perfectly aligned. You place the teacup gently onto its matching saucer, and there it is, a soft, clear clink, a sound like a tiny, perfectly tuned bell. It resonates in the quiet room, a small chord struck in the prelude to the afternoon's ritual. Another cup, another saucer, each placement is deliberate, a small act of precision. You trace the delicate curve of a handle, checking for any imperfection, any stray dust motes. The air, still and hushed, carries the faintest hint of lemon verbena from a nearby potpourri bowl, mingling with a promise of brewing Darjeeling that just begins to drift from the distant kitchen. You straighten a small, embroidered doily, a frown line briefly appearing between your brows before smoothing away. This quiet preparation, this intimate dance with porcelain and linen, feels like a private conversation. Each piece, perfectly positioned, is a silent invitation, a welcome waiting to be extended. You realize in this moment of precise calm the profound beauty of anticipation and the quiet strength found in bringing order to the day. It's a grounding, almost meditative act before the world outside bursts in. You shift your attention to the silver. As your hand reaches into the velvet-lined drawer, your fingertips brush against the cool, hard metal. A faint, almost imperceptible metallic tang whispers past your nose as you carefully retrieve a fork. It feels substantial, heavier than the porcelain, a solid weight in your hand, testament to its craftsmanship and value. You hold it up, turning it slightly in the soft afternoon light. The silver gleams, catching the sun's rays and sending a tiny dancing sparkle across the room. You can just make out your own distorted reflection, a miniature, fleeting image in its highly polished surface. Each tine is perfect, precisely shaped, and the handle is intricately chased with a swirling, delicate pattern, a tiny work of art in itself. With practiced grace, you place it beside the pristine plate, aligning it with an invisible ruler, ensuring it lies exactly so. Then another and another. Each piece of cutlery, the small tea fork, the butter knife, the delicate spoon, is handled with the same reverence. A quiet clink, softer than the porcelain's chime, sounds as a spoon finds its place. It's a subtle, almost rhythmic percussion building the symphony of the table. You notice a tiny smudge on a knife blade, a ghost of a fingerprint. Instantly, you fetch a soft chamois cloth, buffing it away with small, circular motions until the silver reflects an unblemished shine. It's not just about cleanliness, it's about presentation, about the meticulous care that speaks volumes before a single word is uttered. The array of gleaming silver begins to define the space, a silent, glittering invitation. It stands in stark contrast to the soft linen and the delicate porcelain, a robust elegance that commands attention. In these small, deliberate acts, you realize the power of the unspoken, the way beauty and order can communicate a profound welcome, setting the stage not just for tea, but for the intricate dance of Victorian society itself. You push open the heavy swing door leading from the service passage, and the world immediately changes. The quiet calm of the drawing room, the delicate clink of porcelain and the gleam of silver is abruptly replaced by a sustained, insistent growl. It's the roar of the kitchen stove, a deep, powerful thrumming that seems to vibrate through the very flagstones beneath your sturdy shoes. A wave of intense heat washes over you, thick and almost palpable, immediately fogging the cooler air you just left behind. You blink, your eyes adjusting to the dim, perpetually smoky light that clings to the vaulted ceiling. The air here is a rich, complex tapestry of aromas, the sharp tang of coal smoke, the comforting scent of simmering stocks, a faint whisper of roasting meat, and a sweet undertone of baked apples, all wrestling for dominance. Your gaze is drawn to the colossal cast-iron range that dominates the far wall, a veritable behemoth of a machine. Its polished black surfaces radiate a fierce warmth, and from behind its numerous doors and vents, the orange-red glow of superheated coals pulsates with a steady, relentless energy. It truly feels like the beating heart of the house, a powerful, hungry beast that demands constant feeding and attention. You can see a kitchen maid, her face smudged with soot, wrestling with a heavy iron shovel, expertly coaxing more lumps of coal into the gaping maw of the firebox. Sparks fly, a brief glittering cascade against the dark interior before being swallowed by the intense heat. Her movements are efficient, powerful, a stark contrast to the delicate precision you just exercised with the teacups. She glances up, a fleeting, weary acknowledgement in her eyes before returning to her Herculean task, the shovel scraping with a harsh, metallic shriek. The sound of the roaring fire is relentless, a continuous low hum beneath the clang of pots and pans and the rhythmic chop of vegetables. It's a constant, demanding presence, a potent reminder of the raw, untamed power that drives the sophisticated elegance upstairs. This is the engine room, the vital, tireless force working tirelessly, unseen, to fuel the gentle rituals of comfort that will soon unfold. You realize how much unseen energy, how much relentless toil lies beneath the veneer of quiet, refined domesticity. You watch as a footman, his uniform slightly askew, navigates the bustling kitchen with a heavy tray laden with steaming teapots and delicate tiers of cakes. His brow glistens with a fine sheen of sweat, a stark contrast to the crisp, starched collars of the gentry he will soon serve. The air around him seems to ripple with the heat he carries, the sheer physical effort evident in the slight tremor of his hands as he carefully balances his precious cargo. Your eyes drift to a scullery made by a large stone sink. Her sleeves are rolled up, revealing forearms reddened and chapped from constant immersion in scalding water and harsh soap. She scrubs a stubborn saucepan with a wire brush, the rhythmic rasping sound a small but insistent counterpoint to the kitchen's deeper hum. Her movements are tireless, focused, a blur of motion as she works through a seemingly endless pile of pots and pans. You catch a glimpse of her face, smudged with soot and a faint blush from the heat, her expression one of quiet, unwavering determination. The intense aroma of brewing tea, a much stronger, less refined scent here than it will be upstairs, fills the space. You notice the quick, almost furtive glances exchanged between the staff, a silent communication, a shared understanding of the demanding ballet unfolding around them. Every hurried step, every heavy lift, every single wipe and polish is a piece of this elaborate machinery. There's a subtle tension in the room, a palpable undercurrent of urgency, a race against the clock to ensure everything is perfect. You see the calloused hands, the stooped shoulders, the quiet endurance. It makes you realize that the seamless elegance of the afternoon tea, the gentle clink of porcelain and the gleam of silver is not just a simple ritual. It is a carefully orchestrated performance, built upon a foundation of unseen sweat and tireless effort, a poignant testament to the invisible hands that truly uphold the beauty of comfort. You feel the insistent pull of the corset laces across your back, drawing tighter with each firm tug. A maid stands behind you, her hands strong and practiced, cinching the sturdy fabric with a methodical rhythm. The initial sensation is one of surprising pressure, a firm, unyielding embrace that immediately restricts your diaphragm. Your ribs protest silently, a dull ache beginning to settle beneath the whalebone, a quiet complaint against the relentless constriction that reshapes your very form. You try to take a deep breath, but it catches, a mere fraction of a full lungful. Each inhale becomes shallow, a polite sip of air rather than a satisfying draft that fills your lungs entirely. Your shoulders instinctively pull back, your posture becoming unnaturally rigid, a statue-like elegance imposed from without. You glance at your reflection in the polished cheval mirror, observing the transformation. The familiar lines of your waist have been utterly redefined, sculpted into an impossibly slender curve, almost defying nature. The fabric of your chosen gown, soon to be slipped on, will drape perfectly over this new, idealized form, creating the desired silhouette for the afternoon's social calls. Turning feels more deliberate now, less fluid than before. Bending forward is a genuine challenge, a careful maneuver to avoid putting too much strain on the tightly laced bodice. Every movement becomes considered, a silent negotiation with the unyielding garment that encases your torso. There's a constant, subtle reminder of its presence, a feeling of being held, contained, not entirely free within your own skin. The silk of your chemise, once loose, now feels pressed against your skin, and the warmth it generates beneath the layers of fabric is already building. Yet, in this enforced stillness, in this meticulously sculpted silhouette, you sense the silent expectation. It's more than just fashion, it's a powerful testament to the era's ideal of beauty, a physical discipline willingly undertaken. You realize that beneath the exquisite gowns and the polished manners of society, there often lies a quiet, unyielding strength, a private endurance. It's the silent burden carried, the discomfort embraced, all to embody the very picture of grace and propriety. This intricate dance between comfort and conformity, a personal effort made for the world to see. You feel the sumptuous weight of your gowns settling around you, the heavy silk a luxurious, rustling drape, yet it is the rigid structure beneath that truly dictates your entire form. The corset, a relentless architect of the body, forces your spine into an impossibly straight, unyielding line, pulling your shoulders back and firmly down. Each breath you attempt feels shallower, a careful, measured intake, as your diaphragm finds itself confined by the unyielding whalebone and tightly laced fabric. You can't slouch, not even for a fleeting moment of respite. The garment simply will not permit it, holding you in a perpetual state of rigid elegance. It ceases to feel merely like clothing, transforming instead into an external skeleton, precisely defining your silhouette with an almost architectural sculpted precision that seems to defy the natural curves of your body. As you begin your descent down the grand, sweeping staircase, your hand resting with delicate lightness upon the cool, polished banister, you become acutely, almost painfully, aware of the eyes upon you. It is not just the servants, discreetly observing your progress from the quieter shadows of the hall, but the imagined, discerning gaze of those awaiting your arrival in the richly appointed drawing room. This is far more than simply walking. It is an entrance, a meticulously choreographed performance. You feel the subtle, constant recalibration of your balance, the way your head is held just a fraction higher, a slight strain in your neck, an automatic, almost involuntary response to the physical constraint. Your chin is lifted, your neck elongated, presenting an almost regal, detached composure. It is an unspoken declaration, a powerful, silent testament to your breeding, your grace, and your undisputed social station. Even the act of sitting now becomes an intricate art form. You cannot simply collapse into the inviting softness of an armchair. Instead, you must carefully, deliberately position yourself, maintaining the unbroken, elegant line of your back, barely allowing your constricted waist to touch the plush velvet cushion. It is a delicate balance, a continuous exercise in controlled, almost studied grace. You observe the other ladies, similarly adorned and equally constrained, their postures impeccably refined, their movements precise, almost painstakingly sculpted. Their smiles are gentle, their gazes direct and unwavering, yet there is an undeniable, subtle stiffness to their apparent ease, a shared understanding of this demanding physical discipline that binds them. The soft, continuous rustle of your voluminous silk skirt as you move, the faint, almost imperceptible creak of the stays beneath your bodice, these are the quiet, ambient sounds of Victorian femininity, sounds of a constant, elegant vigilance. This isn't merely about looking beautiful, it is profoundly about embodying a specific, demanding ideal, presenting a living tableau of propriety, decorum, and unwavering social standing. You realize this constant physical awareness, this rigid, unwavering adherence to prescribed form is a powerful language in itself. It speaks volumes of status, of unwavering adherence to societal expectation, of the quiet, enduring strength required to wear not just an exquisite gown, but the very armor of one's immutable place in the world. It's a potent, silent declaration, carried with every carefully measured breath and every perfectly poised, graceful movement. You reach for the small, ornate tea caddy, its polished mahogany gleaming richly in the filtered light of the drawing room. Your fingers trace the delicate brass inlay around its edges, feeling the cool, smooth metal beneath your touch. It's an object of quiet beauty, imported from some distant land, holding secrets within its locked interior. You retrieve the tiny, intricate key from your chatelaine, its weight surprisingly substantial against your palm. With a precise movement, you insert it into the small, almost hidden lock. There's a faint, satisfying click as the tumblers yield, a tiny sound of release like a breath being held. You lift the lid slowly, carefully, a subtle creak of aged wood accompanying the movement, anticipating the treasure held within, and then it hits you, a rich, complex aroma, deep and earthy, yet laced with something subtly sweet and floral. It's the powerful, undeniable scent of tea leaves, but not just any tea. This is Darjeeling, a whisper of a distant empire carried on the air. You can almost feel the humid air of the plantations, the rustle of the green leaves, the sun beating down on faraway hills. It's a striking contrast to the familiar sense of London, an olfactory journey that transports you instantly across vast oceans. You lean in closer, inhaling deeply. There's a subtle smokiness, a hint of dried fruit, and a clean, almost mineral tang that speaks of its unique origins. It's a fragrance that promises warmth, comfort, and an elegant bitterness all at once. You notice the deep, almost black-brown color of the tightly rolled leaves within, still holding the essence of their long journey. With a small, silver caddy spoon, you gently scoop a measure of the precious leaves. The dry tea feels light, almost brittle as it tumbles into the strainer. It's a small, intimate act, connecting you to a global network of trade, labor, and distant cultures. You realize how this everyday ritual, this simple cup of tea, holds within it the whispers of an entire world, a silent, profound link to exotic lands and the rich tapestry of human endeavor. You watch as the maid, with practiced grace, lifts the gleaming silver kettle from its stand. A plume of delicate steam billows upwards, carrying a faint, clean metallic tang from the freshly boiled water. Then, with a slow, deliberate tilt, a torrent of bubbling water descends into the waiting porcelain teapot. It's a precise, ceremonial act, a pivotal moment in the afternoon's ritual. The instant the scalding water meets the dry, dark tea leaves you carefully spooned in, a profound transformation begins. A deep, resonant sigh seems to rise from within the pot, a soft gurgle as the intense heat awakens the tightly curled leaves. The delicate, earthy aroma you sensed from the caddy intensifies dramatically, blooming in the air, becoming thick and wonderfully warm. It's a scent that carries the phantom whispers of the high, misty hills of Assam, where these leaves were born. You can almost feel the sun-drenched humidity on your skin, hear the soft rustle of the tea bushes, visualize the nimble, calloused fingers that carefully plucked each tender bud, all under a vast, foreign sky. This isn't just a smell. It's an entire world unfolding before you. The journey these small, potent leaves have made is immense and arduous. Imagine them, once vibrant green, drying under skilled hands, then packed into sturdy wooden chests. Picture those chests loaded onto creaking carts, trundling through dusty paths, then onto great sailing ships. Feel the relentless motion of the sea as those vessels braved the vast, unpredictable oceans, rolling for weeks on end, battling storms, until they finally reached the bustling docks of London. Each sip holds the echoes of that monumental passage, the dedication of countless individuals across continents, their unseen efforts converging here. As the leaves slowly unfurl and generously surrender their essence to the hot water, the liquid in the pot gradually deepens in color. It shifts almost magically from clear to a rich, burnished amber, then to a deep, welcoming mahogany. It's a slow, unfolding spectacle of quiet magic, a visual testament to the power of heat and time. The porcelain teapot itself warms beneath your fingertips, a comforting, radiating heat that feels alive, a vital conduit for this ancient, global ritual. You can almost taste the faraway soil, the crisp mountain air, the patient labor of myriad hands, all distilled within this brewing elixir. In this quiet, private moment, observing the steeped leaves, the rising steam, the deepening color of the tea, you truly feel the vastness of the world compressed into this singular, elegant pot. It's a humbling, almost profound thought, a potent reminder that even in the most refined and seemingly simple of daily comforts, there lies a monumental chain of global connection. It's a rich tapestry of human endeavor and distant landscapes, all converging here on your meticulously set Victorian table. A quiet yet powerful testament to a world far larger than your drawing room walls, brought to life in a cup. Your gaze falls upon the tiered silver stand, its delicate architecture holding an array of perfectly formed sandwiches. They are a study in precision, each one a miniature masterpiece of culinary geometry. Not a single rough edge, not a stray crumb mars their pristine presentation. The first thing you notice is the utter absence of crusts, a silent yet absolute declaration of refinement. You reach for a small, triangular offering. Your fingertips brush against the cool, ever so slightly damp surface of the buttered white bread. It feels impossibly soft, almost weightless, yielding gently to the lightest pressure. Lifting it from the tiered tray, you observe its flawless shape, each side a crisp, clean line as if cut by a master draftsman. Inside, a thin layer of vibrant green cucumber peeks out, thinly sliced, almost translucent, nestled between two equally slender pieces of bread. A faint, refreshing scent of cucumber and butter whispers up to you. Beside it, other variations sit in equally perfect formation, small, neat rectangles filled with thinly shaved smoked salmon, its pale orange a gentle contrast to the white bread. Then there are the delicate fingers of egg mayonnaise, the creamy yellow filling just visible, impeccably contained. Each sandwich is a testament to meticulous preparation, to unseen hours spent in the kitchen, carefully trimming, spreading, and slicing with almost surgical precision. You consider taking a bite. The smallness of it, the utter neatness, dictates a certain manner of eating. You couldn't simply take a large, ungraceful mouthful. It demands a delicate, almost ritualistic approach, a small, polite nibble. It's a quiet challenge, an unspoken command for elegant consumption. The slight chill of the cucumber against your palate is refreshingly crisp, a clean counterpoint to the richer tea you're about to enjoy. In these deceptively simple sandwiches, you recognize more than just sustenance. You see the unspoken rules of the Victorian drawing room laid bare. The relentless pursuit of aesthetic perfection, the tyranny of the crustless triangle, speaks volumes about presentation, about status, and about the careful control exercised over every detail of life. It's a silent language of expectation, a reminder that even the smallest bite must adhere to an unspoken standard of impeccable grace, reflecting a world built on intricate, unwavering order. You reach for a scone, its gentle warmth a comfort against your fingertips. The sweet aroma of baked dough, mingling with clotted cream and strawberry preserve, drifts upwards. You carefully slice it in half with a small silver knife, feeling the soft resistance of the crumb. Then, the ritual, a dollop of rich cream, a spoonful of ruby red preserve. Each motion is measured, a silent choreography. You lift the laden half, your corset a subtle reminder for elegant posture. The first bite is a symphony, light, airy scone dissolving on your tongue. Cool, opulent cream coats your mouth, its velvety richness yielding to the sharp, sweet burst of strawberries. You close your eyes for a brief, exquisite moment. Around you, soft conversation hums. You observe the other ladies' small, delicate bites, composed expressions. No one devours, they partake gracefully. Each movement is a subtle performance, reinforcing shared understanding. The artistry of these small delights, fragile pastry, precise fillings, speaks volumes of skill and impeccable taste. You realize these aren't just refreshments. This meticulous spread, this delicate food, serves as a social barometer, an intricate language. It communicates refinement, respect for rituals that bind society. Each bite, each morsel is not merely sustenance. It's a quiet affirmation of belonging, a tangible expression of a way of life, where grace and propriety are as essential as the food itself. You feel a sudden, almost imperceptible coolness settle on the nape of your neck, though no draft stirs the air. Your eyes, drawn by an invisible thread, lift from the delicate pattern on your teacup. Across the richly appointed drawing room, amidst the quiet hum of polite conversation, you meet a gaze. It's the formidable Mrs. Abernathy, her usually placid expression now holding a subtle, almost imperceptible shift, a flicker of something unreadable, a silent question perhaps, or a gentle admonition. No words are exchanged, no sound beyond the soft clink of a distant spoon, yet the message feels profoundly clear, delivered with the weight of an unspoken reprimand. You feel a warmth rise to your cheeks, a nervous flutter in your chest. Was it your posture, a slightly too loud laugh, the way you buttered your scone? Her eyes hold yours for just a fraction too long, an almost imperceptible pause in the social ballet before she offers a slight, almost imperious nod, then turns her attention to Lady Harrington, who immediately straightens her back a little more. You see the subtle tension in Lady Harrington's shoulders, a sudden rigidity as she receives her own silent appraisal. The air in the room, previously filled with pleasantries, now feels charged with a different kind of energy. Every polite smile, every slight incline of a head, every deliberate gesture suddenly seems imbued with deeper meaning. You watch a gentleman offer a plate of cakes, his extended hand hovering for a moment longer than necessary, and you catch the brief, almost imperceptible hesitation in the lady's eyes before she accepts, a subtle dance of power and decorum. It's a silent, intricate language being spoken, one where the smallest glance, the briefest pause, carries the full weight of judgment, approval, or disapproval. You take a shallow breath, the corset a constant, gentle pressure against your ribs. The comfortable quiet of the room has transformed into a theater of subtle observation. You realize in this moment how much of Victorian social interaction truly thrives in the unspoken spaces, in the nuances of a glance, the unspoken expectations reflected in a polished surface. It's a constant, silent performance, a quiet battle for acceptance and standing, where the most powerful statements are often made in the deepest, most profound silence. A sudden sharp asterisk chink echoes, piercing the polite murmur of the drawing room. Your gaze snaps to Mrs. Davies, the new arrival. Her elbow has grazed a delicate teacup. It wobbles precariously, a tiny porcelain ship on a polished sea. Then a single dark droplet of Darjeeling escapes, landing with unbearable slowness onto the pristine starched linen. It blooms outwards, a tiny, terrible bruise. Conversation dies instantly, a suffocating vacuum. Heads subtly turn, then quickly away. The air feels thick with unspoken judgment, a palpable current of discomfort. You feel the collective holding of breath, the shared understanding of a boundary crossed. Mrs. Davies' face drains, then flushes crimson, her eyes wide with visible horror. She offers a barely perceptible, trembling apology to the dowager, who merely inclines her head with unyielding disapproval. Your own breath feels shallow, trapped by the unyielding corset. A nervous shiver runs down your spine. The tension, the palpable disapproval is infectious. You feel intense empathy for the poor woman, now utterly exposed, her small transgression magnified. The tea, once comfort, now feels like a weapon, its stain a permanent mark of disgrace. In this hushed moment, you grasp the unforgiving nature of Victorian society. It's a minefield of unspoken rules, where a single misplaced drop can unravel a reputation. This meticulous order demands an equally meticulous performance. You realize how fragile propriety truly is, how a life can be redefined by such an insignificant, yet utterly mortifying splash. You lift the delicate porcelain teacup, your gloved fingers carefully encircling its warmed surface. The kid leather, smooth and thin, offers little resistance to the heat radiating from the tea within. You feel a gentle, pervasive warmth seep through the fine material, spreading subtly across your palm, a comforting presence amidst the cool formality of the drawing room. It's a curious sensation, this intimate warmth held captive by the elegant barrier of your glove. The fragrant steam, dark and rich with Darjeeling, rises past your nose as you bring the cup closer to your lips. You take a careful, measured sip, the warmth of the tea a stark contrast to the slightly constrained feeling of your throat, a consequence of the corset you wear. The porcelain, surprisingly robust despite its delicate appearance, feels alive in your hand, a tiny furnace against the precise cool of the room. You watch as Lady Adelaide across from you performs the same ritual, her gloved fingers similarly cradling her cup, a fleeting, shared moment of silent comfort passing between your eyes. This simple act, this small pocket of warmth, feels like a private rebellion against the rigid expectations, a quiet, almost secret pleasure found in the heart of polite society. You realize how easily true comfort can be found in the smallest, most unexpected moments, a gentle solace in a world of strict observance. You lift your teacup, the warm porcelain a comfort against your gloved fingers. Through the lace-curtained window, you glimpse the London afternoon. It's a muted, hazy world out there, perpetually tinged with the charcoal grey of industrial smoke. You can almost feel the gritty particles on your tongue, the sharp tang of coal dust that permeates everything beyond these thick walls. A distant, muffled rumble reaches you, the incessant thrum of horse-drawn carriages on cobbled streets, punctuated by a factory bell or a steam whistle, the relentless, clamorous symphony of the burgeoning metropolis. But here inside, it's a different realm. The air is warm, soft with polished wood, fresh flowers, and the rich perfume of Darjeeling. The flickering hearth flames cast a gentle, dancing glow, illuminating the intricate patterns of the Persian rug and the serene faces of your companions. Outside sounds soften, absorbed by heavy velvet drapes and solid architecture, transforming into a distant, abstract hum that merely underscores the quiet conviviality within. You take another sip of tea, the delicate warmth spreading through your chest. The dark, fragrant liquid is a potent antidote to the city's gloom and grime. Each sip feels like a protective barrier, a momentary shield against relentless progress, constant clamor, and the outside chill. It's a moment of deliberate stillness, a luxurious pause. You watch the steam curl lazily from your cup, a wispy, ethereal defiance against the encroaching modernity. In this tranquil, elegant space, tea is more than a beverage. It's an anchor, a quiet haven, a gentle, fragrant refuge. It reminds you that even amidst rapid, often harsh change, there remain sacred pockets of calm, sustained by warmth, beauty, and the simple, enduring comfort of a shared ritual. You reach for the small, gleaming sugar tongs, their intricate silver design catching the light. As your fingertips close around the cool, smooth metal, a faint, almost imperceptible metallic scent, sharp and clean, greets you. The tongs feel surprisingly delicate, yet perfectly balanced, a miniature instrument designed for a singular, precise purpose. You observe the tiny, claw-like ends honed to grip with exquisite gentleness. Your gaze shifts to the sugar bowl, a crystal edifice overflowing with perfectly formed white cubes. Each one is a miniature marvel of geometry, pristine and flawless, stacked in a glittering, crystalline array. They radiate an almost pristine whiteness, a stark contrast to the deep amber of the tea in your cup. There's a subtle scent here too, a pure, innocent sweetness that promises to mellow the tea's robust flavor. You select a single cube, its edges sharp and unyielding, a tiny block of concentrated sweetness waiting to be unleashed. With a gentle squeeze, the silver tongs secure their prize. You lift the cube with practiced grace, the tongs holding it suspended for a brief, weightless moment over the rich liquid. Then, with a quiet, almost reverent release, the cube drops. It plunges into the dark, steaming depths of the tea with a faint, satisfying plop, a sound so subtle you might miss it if you weren't listening. A tiny splash, barely a ripple, dances at the surface, catching the light like a fleeting jewel. You watch, fascinated, as the crystalline structure begins its slow, inevitable dissolution. The edges soften, blurring into the liquid. Tiny, shimmering trails of sweetness unfurl, curling upwards through the amber like wisps of clear smoke, disappearing into the depths. The once perfect cube is slowly absorbed, melting away, leaving no trace but the promise of an altered flavor. Then with a tiny silver spoon, you begin to stir, a gentle, rhythmic swirl that encourages the last vestiges of sugar to blend seamlessly. The spoon makes a soft, rhythmic asterisk chink chink asterisk against the porcelain, a quiet, repetitive sound that punctuates the drawing room's hum of conversation. This precise ritual, this careful handling of an everyday luxury, is more than just about sweetening tea. It's a moment of focused, almost meditative control. In a world of grand gestures and rigid expectations, even the smallest act, like the addition of a sugar cube, is imbued with meaning, demanding care, grace, and an unwavering attention to detail. You realize how these deliberate actions, repeated countless times, form the very fabric of refined existence, a testament to the quiet power of precision and the enduring comfort found in meticulous order. You take a sip of your tea, now perfectly sweetened. The liquid, once robust and slightly bitter, coats your tongue with a comforting, almost luxurious sweetness. It's a pleasant warmth, a gentle indulgence that smooths the edges of the day, a tiny moment of pure, unadulterated pleasure. The lingering taste of Darjeeling is still there, but subtly softened, rounded by the dissolved sugar. As you swirl the tea in your cup, watching the last faint wisps of steam rise, a fleeting thought crosses your mind about where this pristine sweetness truly originates. It's a world away from this elegant drawing room, a stark contrast to the quiet clink of porcelain and silver. You imagine vast, sun-baked fields stretching endlessly under a relentless, unforgiving sky. Feel the heavy, humid air clinging to your skin, almost suffocating in its intensity. Hear the sharp, rhythmic asterisk thwack asterisk of machetes cutting through thick, fibrous cane stalks, a sound of ceaseless labor. Picture the hands, rough and scarred, stained with rich, dark earth, toiling under a sun that bakes the ground hard and cracks the skin. There's the acrid smell of burning cane fields, a smoke that stings the eyes and coats the throat, mingling with the sickly sweet scent of molasses. Then the oppressive heat of the sugar mills, the deafening clang of machinery, the constant, dizzying buzz of flies drawn to the fermenting sweetness. You see the exhausted faces, the sweat pouring down brows, the unrelenting physical toll of extracting this precious white crystal from the brutal raw material. It's a brutal journey spanning continents and lifetimes, from the tropical cane fields to the refined delicacy nestled in your sugar bowl. This effortless sweetness, dissolving so innocently in your cup, holds within its very crystals a whisper of immense hidden toil, a stark, profound echo of bitterness. You realize that the most profound comforts often bear the heaviest, unseen costs, a silent testament to the vast human effort behind every seemingly simple pleasure. A subtle shift in the room's atmosphere catches your attention first, a collective, almost imperceptible turn of heads. Then you hear it, a crisp, insistent asterisk rustle asterisk, like dry leaves dancing on a polished floor, growing steadily louder. It's the distinct sound of stiff, rich fabric taffeta perhaps or heavy silk, moving with purpose, approaching the drawing room entrance. A footman, immaculate in livery, appears at the threshold, holding the heavy oak door open with quiet deference. The rustling sound intensifies, then glides into the room. You see Lady Beaumont, a vision in an emerald green gown, her wide skirt swaying with a soft, resonant asterisk swish as she makes her elegant entrance. Each movement is accompanied by this distinctive auditory signature, a delicate counterpoint to the hushed murmurs that now ripple through the assembled guests. The rustle of her dress is not just fabric on fabric. It's the whisper of her arrival, the tangible presence of her wealth and status. It speaks of layers of meticulously arranged material, of the underlying bustle and petticoats that create such a grand silhouette. You notice the subtle shift in the light as she moves, the way the silk catches and releases it, turning her into a living, shimmering painting. As she greets your hostess with a polite, almost inaudible murmur, her skirt performs a final, soft asterisk sigh as she settles into an empty chair. The sound then quietens, becoming a faint, intermittent whisper as she shifts, a constant, gentle reminder of her presence. It's a sonic fingerprint, unique to the materials of her attire, announcing her arrival without a single spoken word. You realize that in this world, even the sounds you make, the very fabrics you choose to wear, contribute to the intricate, unspoken language of status and social presence. They are more than just clothes, they are a declaration. The weight of your silk gown settles around you, a familiar pressure that shifts with every subtle movement. You feel the rustle of its layered skirts as you adjust your posture, the delicate lace at your cuffs brushing against the cool porcelain of your teacup. This ensemble, meticulously chosen and painstakingly fashioned, feels less like clothing and more like a carefully constructed identity, presented for the discerning eyes in the room. You glance around, observing the other ladies. Lady Markham's velvet bodice, a deep sapphire, boasts new, exquisite pearl buttons that catch the light with quiet opulence. Miss Ainsworth's simple muslin, while perfectly clean, seems almost swallowed by the richer fabrics around her, a subtle vulnerability in her understated elegance. Every pleat, every embellishment, every shade of silk or satin whispers a story, a declaration of status, of taste, of social aspiration. It's a silent, visual conversation, a delicate dance of display and appraisal. You feel the familiar, almost imperceptible tremor of scrutiny from across the room, a swift glance from a formidable matriarch that takes in your coiffure, the set of your shoulders, the very drape of your skirt weighing its worth. Yet within this ornate costume you find a curious sense of strength, a kind of elegant invisibility. Your high collar, your tightly fitted sleeves, the voluminous sweep of your skirt, they create a protective barrier. They conform, they blend, they state your adherence to the expected order, warding off direct criticism. This carefully crafted facade serves as both a weapon, subtly asserting your place, and a shield, deflecting the sharper edges of social judgment. It's a profound understanding that in this gilded cage of Victorian society, beauty is not merely aesthetic. It is a language, a statement, and ultimately a powerful form of control, both over yourself and over the perceptions of others. You feel the surprising weight of the silver teapot in your hand, its ornate handle cool beneath your gloved fingers. It's heavier than it looks, brimming with the dark, fragrant Darjeeling, its warmth radiating through the metal. Your wrist feels a subtle tremor, a nervous flutter, as you position the spout over the pristine, empty teacup. All eyes, it seems, are subtly, imperceptibly drawn to this singular, delicate act. The steam, thick and aromatic, curls upwards, momentarily obscuring your view of the fine porcelain. You lean slightly, carefully, your corset a rigid reminder of your posture, making the precise angle of your arm feel slightly unnatural. Your focus narrows to an intense point, the delicate lip of the cup, the waiting pool of white space. The silence in the room seems to deepen, amplifying the smallest sounds, the soft crackle of the fire, the distant rumble of a carriage. Each feels like a potential distraction, a threat to this perfect moment. Then you tilt, slowly, deliberately, a thin, dark stream of tea pours forth, a shimmering, unbroken arc against the air. It's a precise, steady flow, a small waterfall of liquid grace. You hear the faint, soft asterisk glug as it hits the bottom of the cup, a small, satisfying sound that signals success. The liquid rises steadily, a growing pool of amber deepening to mahogany, filling the cup exactly to the desired level, not too little, not a drop overflowing onto the polished saucer. Your hand holds perfectly steady, a testament to practiced control, to a quiet determination. You gently lower the teapot, the last few drops clinging precariously to the spout before falling back. The cup now stands perfectly filled, radiating warmth and the rich aroma of steeped leaves. You feel a subtle easing of tension in your shoulders, a quiet breath escaping your lips. The recipient of your pour offers a polite, almost imperceptible nod of thanks, their gaze unwavering, acknowledging the faultless execution. In this seemingly simple act, you realize the hidden pressures of expectation. This isn't merely pouring tea, it's a public performance of grace, skill, and impeccable social comportment. The tremble in your wrist, the anxiety of an unbroken pour, speaks to the immense weight of maintaining composure and order in a world that observes and judges every minute detail. It's a small victory, a perfectly executed moment of quiet triumph amidst the elegant rigor of Victorian life. You hold the silver teapot, its warmth a tangible weight in your hand, a subtle counterpoint to the delicate porcelain of the empty cup before you. This act of pouring, you realize, isn't just about serving tea. It's a quiet assertion of control, a carefully choreographed moment in your small kingdom. Your gaze sweeps across the faces of your guests. Lady Beaumont, a flicker of polite anticipation in her eyes, waits for her tea. Young Miss Ainsworth, still flustered from a moment earlier, keeps her eyes demurely lowered. You catch the deferential nod from the footman, stationed silently by the drawing-room door, awaiting your unspoken command. Every detail, every interaction revolves around this central, comforting ritual you orchestrate. With a graceful, unhurried motion, you tilt the pot. The dark, fragrant stream of Darjeeling flows out, precise and steady, hitting the base of the cup with a soft, inviting gurgle. It fills exactly as you intend, not a drop too much, a perfect gleaming pool of amber. The steam, rich with the scent of distant lands, rises to meet your face, a private breath of warmth. You offer the cup, a small knowing smile playing on your lips. Then you offer the sugar tongs, observing with a quiet amusement as a guest meticulously selects a cube. You then present the clotted cream, followed by the strawberry preserve, subtly guiding the flow, the order of indulgence. Each movement, each silent invitation shapes the experience for your guests. You are the pivot, the silent conductor of this refined symphony. Conversations pause and resume at your unspoken behest. Glances seek your approval, small courtesies are paid in your honor. In this elegant domestic sphere, you find a profound, undeniable power. It is not the booming authority of a man in the public square, but a subtle, pervasive influence, a quiet strength that commands respect through grace and impeccable order. You realize that in the gentle art of Victorian tea, the true mistress of ceremonies holds a kingdom of comfort in her hands, shaping not just the afternoon, but the very fabric of social connection itself. You lean in slightly, your teacup poised midair, as Lady Elena lowers her voice. The soft clink of spoons and the low hum of other conversations create a perfect, muffled cloak for the intimacy unfolding between you. A shared glance, quick and conspiratorial, passes between her and another guest, a silent invitation to participate in the unfolding narrative. Her eyes, usually so composed, now sparkle with a contained excitement, a hint of something deliciously illicit. She inclines her head even further, her voice dropping to a near whisper that only you can truly catch. A faint aroma of rosewater and a hint of her Darjeeling mingles with the subtle scent of warm linen as you instinctively draw closer, a ripple of anticipation running through you. You feel the rustle of your own silk gown, a quiet echo of the heightened moment. She articulates fragments, each word a fragile, potent jewel, carefully placed in the tapestry of social intrigue. You discern whispers of the Duke's youngest daughter, hints of a scandalous affair, and hushed mentions of seen at midnight by the old stable hand. Each syllable carries weight, a clandestine payload delivered with precision. You take a slow, deliberate sip of your tea, the warm, slightly bitter liquid a curious counterpoint to the rush of illicit sweetness now filling your mind. The porcelain feels smooth, almost alive against your lips, a grounding sensation in the midst of whispered revelations. You feel a thrill, a subtle thrum of complicity and connection. Your eyes flick to the subject of the gossip, Miss Beatrice, across the room, seemingly oblivious, her laugh a little too bright, a little too innocent. A shared smile, almost imperceptible, passes between you and Lady Alina, a silent pact of knowledge, a bond forged in shared secrets. This isn't just idle talk, you realize. It's a profound weaving of social fabric, a careful distribution of power and influence through information. Each hushed word, each meaningful glance, contributes to an intricate, unwritten history of reputations. These whispered confidences, these shared secrets over tea, form the very undercurrents of society, a potent, subtle force that shapes destinies, elevates some, and quietly diminishes others, all hidden beneath the veneer of polite conversation. It's a delicate dance of power played out with teacups and whispered truths, where information is currency and discretion is paramount. You nibble delicately at a shortbread biscuit, its buttery sweetness a familiar comfort on your tongue. The fine crumbs dust your gloved fingers, a gentle texture. Around you, the genteel hum of afternoon conversation continues, but you catch a sudden hushed murmur from Lady Finch to Mrs. Cavendish, a rapid exchange of veiled words barely audible above the clink of a spoon. Their eyes, bright with shared knowledge, flick towards a young gentleman seated by the window, Lord Harrington. He sips his tea, seemingly oblivious, a faint smile playing on his lips, but the air around him now feels subtly altered, charged with an invisible current of whispers. You take another small bite, the crisp snap of the biscuit echoing, amplified by the quiet tension. Lady Finch then offers a seemingly innocuous remark about Lord Harrington's late nights, a gentle query about his fondness for the theatre. But her tone, her fleeting glance at Mrs. Cavendish speaks volumes. You see Mrs. Cavendish's slight nod, confirming the unspoken implication. It's a casual, artless observation, yet it carries the venom of a well-placed arrow. The delicate shortbread in your hand suddenly feels heavy, the sweetness cloying. You watch the ripple effect. A quick, imperceptible glance passes from Mrs. Cavendish to the dowager, Lady Evelyn, who raises her perfectly arched eyebrow just a fraction. No words are needed. The information, like a silent contagion, spreads, shaping perceptions, altering judgments, all without direct accusation. Lord Harrington's easy smile now seems vulnerable, his presence diminished, his reputation quietly, meticulously dismantled. You realize that in this world, over the most innocent of biscuits and cups of tea, information is traded, fortunes are made and lost, and reputations are broken with a whisper, a glance, or a careful insinuation. It's a ruthless, elegant battlefield, where a single whispered word can carry more destructive power than any shouted accusation, silently eroding a man's standing, leaving only the bitter taste of truth or perhaps mere rumor. The seemingly gentle art of tea hides a profound, often brutal power. You lift the gleaming silver teapot, its ornate handle cool and smooth against your gloved fingers, ready to pour. But as you do, your gaze drifts, almost accidentally, to its highly polished, bulging side. Instead of a clear reflection, you're met with a strange, undulating distortion. Your face, usually so composed, stretches and compresses in the convex curve, your nose elongated, your eyes wide and disproportionate, a fleeting, almost comical caricature of yourself. The elegant bonnet upon your head becomes a warped, shimmering oval, while the intricate lace at your throat ripples like water. Beyond your distorted image, the drawing room itself warps. The ornate chandelier overhead fragments into a constellation of shimmering blurs, its light scattering into streaks. Lady Edith across from you is suddenly elongated, her polite smile stretched into a surreal grimace, then squashed into a tiny, intense knot of features as the silver's curvature changes. The rich colors of the velvet drapes ripple and flow like currents in a slow-moving stream, the polished mahogany table bending beneath the weight of an invisible force. It's a fleeting, unsettling glimpse, a momentary crack in the polished facade of polite society. You catch a glimpse of the rigid line of your corseted bodice, made even more impossibly severe and angular by the curvature of the silver, almost like an external armor. This warped reflection gives you a momentary pause, a flicker of something beyond polite composure stirring within you. What does the world truly see? What careful layers do you present? And what truths does the polished surface betray, even in its distortion? The silver, in its very perfection, offers a strangely honest, yet entirely deceptive truth. It's a mirror, yes, but one that reflects not simple reality, but the subtle, fluid nature of perception itself, a reminder that surfaces can conceal as much as they reveal. You gently place the silver teapot back onto the tray, its highly polished surface still shimmering from your brief, distorted reflection. The brilliance is absolute, a flawless mirror intensified by the drawing room light. Not a smudge, not a hint of tarnish dares to mar its sheen, but you know the truth of this perfection. It is a constant, relentless battle. Imagine the endless hours in the scullery. The sharp, pungent smell of silver polish stings nostrils. Picture the hands, red, chapped, strong, rubbing, buffing with tireless devotion. Feel the ache in the shoulders, the repetitive strain of bringing such an unforgiving metal to this dazzling luster day after day. A faint fingerprint, a microscopic speck of dust, any imperfection must be banished. This is the unseen cost of such radiance. The effortless elegance of this afternoon tea, the gentle clink of porcelain, the hum of polite conversation, it all rests upon this foundation of ceaseless, invisible labor. Every perfect surface, every immaculate detail testifies to an unseen army. This relentless pursuit of flawless appearance is a heavy cloak. You realize that true brilliance is rarely effortless. It is a continuous act of creation, demanding constant vigilance and unwavering commitment to a flawless, yet fragile facade. You reach for a scone from the tiered stand, your gloved fingers gently brushing its lightly flowered surface. It feels wonderfully warm, a soft, inviting heat that radiates through the thin kid leather, a comforting contrast to the cool porcelain of your teacup. A faint, buttery aroma wafts upwards, mingling with the subtle sweetness of jam. This isn't just a simple baked good, it's a canvas for a specific, intricate ritual. With a small silver knife, you carefully divide the scone. The crust offers a delicate resistance, a tiny, almost imperceptible crack as it yields, revealing the soft, fluffy interior. You observe the steam still escaping from its heart, a silent testament to its freshness. The texture within is crumbly yet moist, a perfect vehicle for the rich accompaniments. Then comes the clotted cream. You scoop a generous yet not excessive dollop with a tiny spoon. It's thick, almost solid, with a velvety richness that feels cool and luxurious as you spread it gently across one half of the scone. It glides, resisting only slightly, leaving a smooth, opaque layer like freshly fallen snow on a gentle hill. Its subtle dairy scent is pure, unadulterated indulgence. Next, the strawberry preserve. Its vibrant, almost jewel-like ruby red gleams in the crystal bowl. You take a smaller, precise spoonful, lifting it carefully. It glistens, thick with fruit clinging to the spoon's curve. You spread it over the cream, a delicate hand ensuring it doesn't spill or smudge beyond the scone's neat edge. The sweet, fruity tang of strawberries immediately asserts itself, a bright, cheerful note to cut through the richness. You bring the laden scone half to your lips, a subtle adjustment of your posture to maintain composure. The first bite is a delightful explosion of textures and flavors. The scone's tender crumb giving way, the coolness and thick decadence of the cream, then the sharp, fruity burst of the jam, all blending into a harmonious, comforting sweetness. You chew slowly, savoring the quiet complexity. Around you, other guests perform their own versions of this delicate dance, their movements mirroring your own, a shared understanding of this particular tactile pleasure. There are no smears, no overly large mouthfuls. Every action is a testament to controlled indulgence. You realize that the simple act of preparing and eating a scone in this setting is a miniature performance, a quiet affirmation of propriety and refined taste. It's a moment where strict rules and luxurious indulgence meet, where the joy of taste is meticulously framed by the unwavering demands of elegance. This blend of comfort and constraint, of personal pleasure and public presentation, is the very essence of the gentle art you are so intimately part of. You select a tiny madeleine from the silver tray, its shell-like ridges perfectly formed, still retaining a hint of warmth. Your fingertips, encased in kid leather, feel its delicate, almost brittle texture. A faint, buttery scent laced with a whisper of lemon zest drifts upwards. You're not truly hungry, the morning's substantial breakfast still a ghost in your stomach, but to refuse would be a breach of etiquette. This is not about sustenance. It's about participation. You take a small, delicate bite. The madeleine crumbles gently on your tongue, dissolving into a sweet, moist richness. Your mouth registers the subtle flavor, the comforting familiarity of butter and sugar, but your stomach feels no real urge, no genuine craving. The corset, a constant pressure, reminds you of the limited space for such indulgences. You chew slowly, deliberately, savoring the taste with an almost performative appreciation, ensuring no crumbs escape your lips. Your gaze subtly sweeps the room, observing the other ladies. Lady Beatrice takes a tiny, almost imperceptible nibble of her sandwich, her expression one of polite, almost detached enjoyment. Lord Finch, despite his robust physique, daintily handles a petit four, his movements mirroring the restrained elegance expected of all. You feel a curious awareness of your own carefully cultivated movements, the precise way you hold your teacup, the measured sip of tea. Every gesture is considered, every bite a quiet assertion of decorum. It's a silent, intricate dance, a public display of refined appetite, even when the inner reality is one of contented fullness. This is not about satiating a need but fulfilling an expectation. In this delicate performance, you realize the profound social theater unfolding around you. Each small bite, each sip of tea becomes a line in an unspoken script, a testament to the mastery of self-control and the seamless integration into polite society. It's a quiet testament to the human capacity for presenting one reality while subtly experiencing another, all in the name of grace and social harmony. A delicate, unexpected coolness brushes against your cheek, a subtle invasion in the warm drawing room. It carries with it a scent fresh and utterly captivating, the undeniable rich perfume of old garden roses. This isn't the bottled essence of a perfume, it's the vibrant, earthy fragrance of living blooms, damp with residual afternoon dew. Your eyes drift towards the source. The heavy velvet drapes, usually drawn against the city's perpetual haze, have been subtly parted at one of the tall windows, revealing a sliver of the meticulously tended garden outside. Through the narrow gap, you glimpse a vibrant tableau of greens, the deep reds and soft pinks of rose bushes, alive and swaying gently in a faint breeze. Each blossom looks impossibly perfect, a triumph of cultivation. You can almost feel the softness of their petals, the prick of their thorns. You take a deeper breath, savoring the pure, natural fragrance, a refreshing counterpoint to the rich, complex aromas of Darjeeling buttery biscuits and the subtle scent of warm linen that fills the air within. For a brief moment, the corset's embrace feels less restrictive, the polite hum of conversation less demanding. The outside world, usually kept at bay, offers this small, fragrant olive branch, a tiny, wild intrusion into a perfectly ordered existence. Another gentle waft of rose scent enters, cooler than the room's air, carrying a whisper of damp earth. It's a fleeting connection to something organic, something that grows and blossoms independently, yet here it is, carefully framed by the window's elegant arch, a carefully curated piece of nature brought to the doorstep of civilization. In this delicate sensory moment, you realize how even the most stringent order can be softened by a touch of untamed beauty. It's a quiet reminder that while we may meticulously craft our worlds, nature's simple, profound offerings continue to permeate, offering a breath of unadulterated freshness, a poignant whisper of freedom just beyond the pain. You sip your tea, the warmth a small, steadying anchor. The drawing room hums with polite conversation, a soothing, controlled melody, but then a distinct, jarring sound penetrates the thick walls. The rhythmic asterisk clatter of a distant train on its tracks, a metallic shriek of brakes. It's a harsh, insistent reminder of the bustling, grimy city just beyond your elegant facade. You glance towards the window. Through a narrow slit in the heavy drapes, you glimpse the London sky, perpetually muted, a bruised purple-grey stained with coal smoke. You can almost taste the grit, the pervasive smell of industry clinging to everything outside. It's a world of iron, sweat, and relentless machinery, a stark contrast to the delicate porcelain in your hand, the soft rustle of silk, and the gentle fragrance of hothouse lilies. You consciously pull your attention back to the intimate circle. Lady Margaret discusses her country estate, painting vivid word pictures of sprawling green lawns and ancient oak trees, a tranquil world far removed from the urban sprawl. Her voice is soft, her eyes holding a wistful gaze. You understand this shared yearning for a simpler, greener existence. This tea ritual becomes more than refreshment, it's a collective act of invocation, a deliberate conjuring of an ideal. This room, with its curated comfort, exquisite tea, and gentle conversation, transforms into a sanctuary. It's a deliberate escape, a defiant pocket of beauty against the encroaching tide of soot and industry. You take another sip, the delicate, bittersweet flavor a perfect distillation of this moment. You realize that in an age dominated by iron and coal, these gentle rituals are not mere luxuries. They are essential acts of preservation, vital havens for the spirit. It's about holding onto a vision of beauty even when the world outside furiously remakes itself. You lift the small porcelain cup, its dainty handle just a little too large for your clumsy child's fingers. The liquid inside is pale, a milky, insipid brown, almost entirely devoid of the dark, rich color that fills the adult's cups. You bring it carefully to your lips, the porcelain surprisingly cool against your skin. The taste, it's barely tea at all. A thin, watered-down sweetness dominated by the bland, familiar creaminess of milk, a mere whisper of distant Darjeeling. It lacks the robust, invigorating bitterness you sometimes steal a whiff of from your mother's cup. You take a tiny, hesitant sip, trying to mimic the delicate sips of the ladies around you. The cup feels impossibly fragile, threatening to slip from your grasp. Your eyes dart, quick and nervous, to your mother. She watches, her expression composed, a faint, encouraging smile playing on her lips, but her gaze holds a silent expectation. You are learning, this isn't just a drink, it's a test of decorum, a quiet initiation. You place the cup back onto its saucer with excruciating care, trying not to make a sound, the small china clinking faintly despite your efforts. The tiny cucumber sandwich, crustless and perfectly triangular, sits untouched beside your plate. You look at it, then back at your weak tea. Every movement feels magnified, every decision scrutinized. How much sugar, how much milk? And most importantly, how do you hold your little finger just so? This simple, milky drink is your first formal lesson in the intricate ballet of polite society. You understand, even with your child's mind, that the taste of the tea itself matters less than the flawless execution of the ritual. It's about quiet observation, careful imitation, and the subtle, unwavering pressure to conform. This watered-down cup, this gentle sweetness, is a potent symbol of the world you are stepping into, a world where even the most comforting rituals are steeped in unspoken rules and profound expectations. It's a lesson in poise, patience, and the delicate art of performance, delivered one bland, milky sip at a time. You feel the grand, plush velvet of the armchair swallowing you, its cushions too deep, its back too high. Your small feet dangle, swinging slightly, unable to reach the intricately patterned Persian rug below. It's a struggle to keep them still, a constant, nagging urge to kick gently, to feel the soft texture of the carpet against your toes. But you mustn't, not here, not now. A gentle, almost imperceptible pressure on your knee from your mother's gloved hand is a silent, firm reminder to be still. From this low vantage point, the drawing room transforms into a forest of rich fabrics and polished wood. Great swathes of velvet drape the windows, muffling the distant sounds of the city to a dull hum. The air, thick with the complex perfume of Darjeeling tea, sweet biscuits, and the faintest hint of rose potpourri, feels warm and heavy. Above you, a symphony of adult voices murmurs, a ceaseless flow of polite conversation. Individual words drift down: society, the latest scandal, the Duke's health, but much of it remains a delightful, yet ultimately impenetrable, jumble of sounds, like a distant, intricate piece of music you can appreciate but not fully comprehend. Your gaze travels, wide and curious, across the room. You watch the ladies, their figures impossibly elegant, their corsets creating an almost architectural line beneath voluminous skirts that rustle and sigh with every movement. Their hands, delicate and gloved, perform an intricate dance with the porcelain cups and gleaming silver spoons, each gesture precise, seemingly effortless. You notice how Lady Finch lifts her teacup with her little finger extended just so, a detail you diligently, though perhaps awkwardly, attempt to replicate with your own small, milky cup. The lukewarm liquid, barely tea at all, feels heavy in your hand as you try to perfectly match her exact, graceful angle. When your mother offers you a tiny, crustless cucumber sandwich, you take it with the utmost care, imitating the delicate way she chose her own. You bring it to your lips, taking a bite so small it almost isn't there, and chew with a solemn, focused concentration, ensuring no crumb escapes your lips. It's not about hunger. It's about the act itself, the performance of politeness. You feel the subtle weight of her gaze, a quiet encouragement that says, "You are doing well, little one, you are learning." You listen intently to the cadence of the adult voices, the slight inflections, the barely perceptible pauses that indicate a shift in topic or a moment of shared, unspoken understanding. You learn to interpret the flick of an eye, the subtle tightening of a smile, the almost imperceptible nod that conveys agreement or quiet disapproval. These are the lessons, absorbed not through explicit instruction, but through constant, vigilant observation from the periphery. You are a silent student in this grand theatre of manners, absorbing the unspoken rules that govern this elegant, intricate world. The feeling is one of quiet awe, a profound sense of wanting to belong, of diligently memorizing the intricate choreography of comfort and convention. This moment, small and seemingly insignificant, is your true classroom, teaching you that in this society, being seen but rarely heard is the first, most crucial step to eventually finding your own voice. You notice the afternoon light, once a gentle, diffused gold, now beginning to ebb, leaching of its warmth as the day quietly surrenders to evening. The corners of the drawing room deepen into soft grey pools, and the vibrant colours of the Persian rug start to lose their daytime intensity. A subtle chill, imperceptible moments ago, seems to gather against the windowpanes, then a quiet presence. A footman, a mere shadow himself in the diminishing light, moves silently into the room. He carries a long, slender taper. You watch as he approaches the ornate gas bracket on the wall. A soft, almost whispered asterisk hiss asterisk of gas escaping, then a sharp, distinct asterisk pop as the flame catches. With a gentle turn, he adjusts the cock, and a steady, soft yellow glow blossoms, pushing back the encroaching twilight. Another lamp, another hiss and pop asterisk. The room begins to transform. The familiar contours of the drawing room shift, subtly altering under this new, artificial radiance. Shadows lengthen dramatically, stretching like silent, inquisitive fingers across the polished floorboards, transforming the far corners into deeper, more mysterious pools of darkness. The vibrant colors of the velvet drapes deepen, becoming richer, more opulent. The gleam on the silver teapot intensifies, a concentrated point of light that dances with a new, almost theatrical brilliance. A faint, subtle whiff of gas, a strangely metallic tang, underpins the lingering sense of Darjeeling and roses. It's an almost imperceptible scent, quickly absorbed by the heavier fragrances of the room, yet it's there, a reminder of the modern convenience illuminating your Victorian comfort. The faces of your companions, once softly illuminated by the dying day, now appear with sharper contrasts, their features subtly altered, becoming more defined, almost etched by the artificial light. A quiet intimacy descends, a sense of closeness, a subtle drawing in that the bright, direct daylight didn't quite possess. This shift from the vast, natural light of the world to the controlled, focused glow of the gas lamp is more than just illumination. It's an embrace of a different kind of time, a deliberate sculpting of the atmosphere. You realize that light doesn't just show you the world, it actively reshapes it, altering perceptions, drawing boundaries, creating a profound sense of shared space. It's a reminder of humanity's ingenious way of extending warmth and connection, even as the natural world descends into cold, distant darkness. The last polite farewells have faded, carriage wheels rumbling into the London twilight. A profound silence descends upon the drawing room, humming with the absence of chatter and clinks. You stand amidst the aftermath. The fire's warmth now feels like a lone sentinel. You inhale deeply. The air, though quiet, is thick with ghosts of what was. There's the faint, cool earthiness of Darjeeling, clinging to the velvet drapes, a whisper of sweet almond from an untouched petit four, and the ghost of rosewater from a guest's perfume. It's an olfactory echo, a memory in scent. Your gaze sweeps the room bathed in gas lamp glow. Empty teacups stand like forgotten sentinels, some with faint, dark rings. A single, untouched cucumber sandwich sits on a plate, its pristine triangle a poignant reminder. Scattered crumbs, almost imperceptible, tell small stories of delicate indulgence. The silver teapot, once gleaming, now appears forlorn, reflecting only quiet emptiness. You run a gloved finger over cool porcelain. Its smoothness is a stark difference from the warmth it held. The absence of movement, laughter, silk rustles creates a curious vacuum. It feels both peaceful and oddly melancholic. This meticulous order, carefully constructed for fleeting connection, now stands preserved, a still life tableau. You realize these lingering aromas, these quiet remnants are spectral echoes of human presence, of shared ephemeral threads. The silence isn't empty, it's filled with memory. A poignant testament to fleeting comfort and the enduring beauty of what lingers. A subtle, almost imperceptible shift ripples through the drawing room. The delicate hum of polite female conversation, a familiar and soothing tapestry of higher pitches, suddenly seems to falter, a momentary hush falling like a dropped silken handkerchief. Then you hear it, a deeper resonance, a sound that vibrates in the air in an entirely different way. It's the distinct, resonant rumble of a man's voice, a profound bass note in a world tuned to a lighter, more ethereal key. It emanates not from within the room, but from the corridor just outside, a premonition of an imminent arrival. You feel a subtle, almost physical jolt. Your teacup, poised midway to your lips, pauses. The ceramic feels suddenly heavier in your gloved hand, the warmth of the Darjeeling less comforting than before. The gentle asterisk clink asterisk of spoons and the soft rustle of silk gowns, once the dominant soundtrack, now recede into the background, overshadowed by this new, deeper chord. A few heads previously inclined in intimate confidences subtly lift. Eyes which moments ago held shared secrets or gentle amusement now dart towards the double doors, a collective, unspoken acknowledgement of the impending disruption. Then the heavy oak doors, which had recently swung shut after the last departing guest, are gently pushed open by a footman, and there he is. Lord Alastair, a formidable figure, stands framed in the doorway. His presence is immediate, almost overwhelming. A faint yet distinct scent of fine tobacco and leather, sharp and undeniably masculine, accompanies him, cutting through the delicate floral notes and buttery aromas that pervade the drawing room. It's an earthy, robust fragrance, a bold statement against the room's gentle sweetness. His tailored wool coat, dark and substantial, seems to absorb the gaslight, creating a stark contrast to the shimmering pastels and rich jewel tones of the ladies' gowns. He moves with a purposeful stride, his boots making a soft, solid thud on the polished floorboards, a sound much heavier and more insistent than the whisper of slippers or the gentle tap of heels. His gaze, direct and unblinking, sweeps across the room, a powerful, surveying presence that seems to encompass every corner, every carefully placed object, every assembled guest. You feel a sudden, almost involuntary urge to straighten your already taut corset, to ensure your posture is impeccably correct, your smile appropriately composed. The air, previously light with feminine ease, now feels subtly charged, imbued with a different kind of energy, a shift in gravity. He speaks, a low, resonant baritone that seems to vibrate through the very floorboards, filling the space effortlessly. It's not loud, but it commands attention, cutting through any lingering murmurs with an undeniable authority. His words are of the day's events, a sharp observation about the bustling London streets, a world far removed from the quiet elegance of this afternoon. You feel the collective shift in the room's focus, a subtle realignment towards this singular masculine center. The delicate ballet of female society, so meticulously choreographed, now adapts, incorporating this new, potent force. You realize that the arrival of such a presence is more than just a person entering a room. It is a fundamental shift in the very essence of the gathering. It's a collision of worlds, the robust external world of men and the refined internal sphere of women, momentarily converging. This deeper pitch, this sonic disruption, serves as a potent reminder of the inherent power dynamics at play, the unspoken influence of gender and expectation that subtly, yet profoundly, reshapes the comfortable rituals of a Victorian afternoon. It is a moment of reassertion, a quiet recalibration of the delicate balance of society, all heralded by the unmistakable sound of a man's voice. The deep resonant timbre of the men's voices now permeates the drawing room, a distinct counterpoint to the lighter, more delicate tones of the ladies. You watch as Lord Alastair, having accepted a freshly poured cup, takes a seat not amongst the ladies on the plush sofa, but in a sturdy armchair near the fireplace, facing another gentleman. The air, previously filled with gentle gossip and polite pleasantries, subtly thickens, acquiring a different weight, a new seriousness. A faint, almost metallic tang, reminiscent of ink and crisp paper, begins to mingle with the lingering sweetness of tea and biscuits. You notice a rolled-up newspaper tucked beneath one arm, its edges still sharp, a silent testament to the world outside, the world of commerce and politics that now quietly invades this domestic sanctuary. The discussions around you shift. No longer are there whispers of scandalous affairs or the latest fashions. Instead, you catch fragments. The new railway line, shares in the textile mills, the government's latest bill. These are words heavy with implication, resonating with the clang of industry and the sharp-edged calculations of the market. You observe the men's gestures, a pointed finger emphasizing an argument, a sharp, decisive nod of agreement, a furrowed brow betraying concern over unseen ledgers. Their gazes are direct, focused, not on the delicate porcelain or the intricate patterns of the rug, but on each other, on the invisible complexities of their public lives. The tea itself, once a symbol of gentle leisure, now seems to serve a different purpose, a quiet lubricant for the wheels of industry, a refined backdrop for the forging of alliances and the delicate dance of negotiation. You take a sip of your Darjeeling, its warmth a familiar comfort, yet the sweetness now feels tinged with a subtle, almost bitter awareness. This elegant room, with its velvet and lace, its tea and delicate pastries, is no longer solely a feminine domain of comfort and social grace. It has become an extension of the bustling city, a subtle, refined chamber where the serious business of empire and fortune is quietly yet powerfully conducted. The pleasure of the afternoon is inextricably linked to the weighty matters of the world, creating a poignant, almost imperceptible blurring of boundaries. The comfort of tea now serves a dual purpose, a soft hand in a world of hard ambition. The drawing room, so recently alive with the gentle hum of conversation and the rustle of silk, now settles into a profound, almost echoing silence. The last faint tremor of carriage wheels has long since faded into the London night. You sit alone, a solitary figure amidst the plush velvet and polished mahogany, the warmth from the dying embers in the hearth a quiet, almost forgotten comfort. You reach for the elegant silver teapot. As your gloved fingers close around its cool handle, the faint scrape of metal against the tray seems disproportionately loud, a sharp, clear sound that hangs in the air for a moment longer than it should. You lift it, the substantial weight of familiar presence, and carefully pour the dark, fragrant Darjeeling into your empty cup. The stream of liquid hits the porcelain with a soft, steady glug-glug asterisk, each drop magnified by the surrounding quiet, creating a small, intimate echo in the vastness of the room. The rich, earthy aroma of the tea, usually diffused amongst many, now rises directly to your senses, concentrated and potent. You hold the cup, feeling the radiating warmth seep through the fine kid leather of your glove, a small, tangible anchor in the stillness. Then you pick up the spoon, its tiny bowl gleaming with reflected gaslight dips into the amber liquid. With a gentle, deliberate motion you stir. The soft, rhythmic asterisk chink-chink asterisk of silver against porcelain becomes the only sound, a private, hypnotic melody in the hushed space. Each tiny collision resonates an intimate percussion. You watch the swirl of the tea, a miniature vortex, the last vestiges of sweetness dissolving into the depths. The gas lamps cast long, dancing shadows, making the familiar room feel both grander and more intimately your own. In this profound solitude, the small, habitual actions of the tea ritual take on a heightened significance. There's a curious beauty in this amplified quiet, where every movement, every sound becomes a conscious act, a deliberate presence. You realize that sometimes it's in the absence of others that you truly find the profound presence of yourself, reflected in the simple, echoing rhythm of a single spoon. The final whisper of silk has long faded from the hall. A profound quiet settles, filling the drawing room like a heavy, unseen tide after the last departing guest. The last ember in the hearth casts a fitful, orange glow, doing little to dispel the encroaching chill that seems to gather in the vast, empty space. You sit alone, a solitary figure amidst the plush velvet and polished mahogany. The air, once thick with chatter and the mingling scents of perfume and tea, now feels thin, almost brittle. Every tiny sound seems magnified. The soft asterisk tick-tock of the grandfather clock in the hall, the distant rumble of a carriage on the street below, even the gentle rustle of your own gown as you shift slightly. You reach for your teacup, its porcelain still faintly warm, a ghost of the comforting heat it once held. The Darjeeling, now cool, offers its familiar, comforting bitterness, a taste savored in absolute solitude. You lift the small silver spoon, stirring the few remaining drops. The gentle asterisk chink-chink asterisk against the porcelain echoes with surprising clarity, a solitary rhythm that seems to mark the passage of time. The rigidity of your corset, usually a public armor, now feels like a solitary embrace, a firm framework for your quiet contemplation. Your gaze sweeps over the perfectly arranged tea things. The untouched sandwiches, the half-eaten scone, the gleaming teapot that once held such warmth and promise. Each object, meticulously placed, serves as a poignant reminder of the recent company now gone. The empty chairs where animated conversations once flowed seem to hold the lingering impressions of absent friends. You find yourself moving with an almost amplified deliberation, each gesture imbued with a private meaning, a conversation with the self through ritual. This deliberate act of finishing your tea, alone in the vast quiet, is more than a simple conclusion to the afternoon. It is a quiet punctuation mark on a sentence read entirely to yourself. In this rigid world where every public gesture is weighed and measured, these private rituals become both a cherished companion and a stark mirror. They offer a solace, a reassuring framework against the profound quiet, but also highlight the very space within that longs for genuine connection, a fragile balance between comfort and the quiet ache of absence. You feel the biting grip of the evening air, sharp and damp, seeping through the thin soles of your boots. The cobblestones beneath your feet are slick with a fine, persistent mist, reflecting the dim, hazy glow of distant gaslights in shimmering streaks. The air carries the gritty tang of coal smoke, a ubiquitous scent in this London night, mingling with the faint, sour odor of damp earth and the distant, muffled clamor of the city's ceaseless pulse. Your shoulders hunch instinctively, pulling your threadbare shawl tighter against the relentless chill that seems to seep into your very bones. Your eyes, accustomed to the gloom, are drawn by an irresistible magnetism to a splash of defiant warmth ahead. Through the tall, elegantly draped window of a grand townhouse, a radiant golden glow spills out, painting a stark, beautiful contrast against the drab, encroaching darkness of the street. It's a vivid tableau, a living painting framed by heavy velvet curtains, slightly parted to reveal the warmth within. Inside, a scene of opulent comfort unfolds. You see the flickering, inviting light of a roaring fire, casting dancing shadows on a richly patterned wallpaper. Figures move with graceful, unhurried ease, ladies in shimmering silks and velvets, their corseted forms impossibly elegant, their heads inclined in gentle conversation. The gleam of polished silver catches the gaslight, a fleeting, almost magical sparkle. You imagine the soft, delicate clink of porcelain, the rich, earthy aroma of Darjeeling tea, the sweet, buttery scent of freshly baked scones, a veritable feast for the senses, contained within that glowing rectangle. A gentleman, perhaps just arrived, stands near the hearth, his dark tailored coat a strong silhouette against the golden backdrop, a picture of effortless authority. A tiny, well-dressed child sits demurely on a plush armchair, sipping from a delicate cup, a miniature adult in training, diligently observing the world around them. The warmth from the window, though just a visual promise, feels almost palpable, a silent invitation that you know you cannot accept. It highlights the biting cold that gnaws at your hands, the weary ache in your feet. The sounds within are a distant, muffled whisper, a world of polite murmurs and gentle laughter, utterly separate from the harsh realities of the street. It's a profound tableau, one that speaks volumes of stark division, of the intricate layers of society. You press a hand to the cold stone of the building, feeling the solid barrier, the impenetrable wall between these two starkly different worlds. You realize how powerfully light can delineate not just physical spaces, but entire existences, turning a simple window into a profound statement of inclusion and exclusion, a silent, glittering testament to the comfort that some effortlessly inhabit, while others merely observe from the profound, unyielding chill of the outside. It's a poignant reminder of the enduring human longing for warmth, belonging, and the elusive comfort found within the brightest, most carefully guarded glows. You press your chilled fingertips against the cold, unyielding glass of the townhouse window, a thin, fragile barrier separating your world from theirs. The glass feels like ice through your threadbare gloves, instantly stealing what little warmth your skin holds. You can see your own breath misting faintly on the pane, a transient ghost against the shimmering tableau within. The glow from the gas lamps inside, once so inviting, now seems to distort through the glass, making the elegant figures dance and ripple, their expressions blurred, almost dreamlike. The opulent room, a vibrant, unattainable painting, pulses with a warmth that you can only feel as a ghost against your cheek. A muffled peal of laughter reaches you, a distant, joyous sound, muted and made strangely hollow by the thick, ornate glass. It's like listening to music underwater. You perceive the rhythm, the general tone, but the individual notes, the nuances, are lost, absorbed by the impenetrable divide. You strain to catch a snippet of conversation, to understand the witty exchange that provoked such merriment, but only a soft, indistinct murmur escapes, a tantalizing whisper of a world you cannot access. The scent of Darjeeling tea, the delicate sweetness of shortbread, the subtle perfume of hothouse flowers, these are mere imaginings now, conjured by the sight of delicate teacups and tiered stands. The reality is the raw, sharp tang of coal smoke, the damp earth, and the faint, bitter scent of stagnant water from the cobbled street. You watch as a lady in shimmering silk lifts a scone, a dollop of thick cream glistening on its surface. Her movements are graceful, unhurried, a picture of effortless leisure. Your stomach gives a faint, almost imperceptible rumble, a quiet complaint against the biting wind that sneaks beneath your shawl. The sight of such easy abundance just inches away yet utterly unreachable creates a peculiar ache, not just of hunger but of profound separation. You see the rich, vibrant colors of their clothing, the gleam of their jewelry, a stark contrast to the drab, mud-stained hues of your own worn attire. The windowpane is more than just glass, it's a living, breathing demarcation line. On one side, a world of carefully cultivated comfort, meticulous ritual, and effortless warmth. On the other, the stark, unforgiving reality of the London night, where comfort is a distant dream and warmth a precious, fleeting commodity. The fragile veneer of glass, that seemingly insubstantial barrier, holds an entire universe of unspoken stories, of profound differences. It reminds you that luxury, often so effortlessly displayed, is built upon a silent, yet formidable, wall, a poignant testament to the arbitrary nature of circumstance and the enduring chasm that separates two distinctly different worlds. You lift your teacup one last time, your gloved fingers instinctively seeking the familiar warmth, but it's gone. The porcelain, once a comforting source of heat, now feels cool, almost chilling, against the fine kid leather. A subtle metallic tang, a ghost of the silver spoon, mingles with the faint, lingering aroma of spent Darjeeling. The dark, rich liquid is long gone, leaving only a few tiny, shimmering drops clinging to the bottom, like forgotten dew. You tilt the cup slightly, seeing your distorted reflection in the shallow, dark pool. It's a fleeting, unsettling image, a last glimpse of yourself framed by the delicate, empty vessel. The intricate blue forget-me-nots on the porcelain seem to stand out more vividly against the stark white interior, unadorned by the tea's rich hue. The silence in the drawing room feels deeper now, more profound, a stark contrast to the polite hum it held just moments before. Only the distant, faint crackle of the dying fire whispers from the hearth, a soft, weary breath. With a gentle, deliberate motion, you place the empty cup back onto its saucer. The quiet clink feels final, an echo marking the absolute end of the afternoon's ritual. There's a subtle heaviness in your chest, a sense of completion mingled with a quiet melancholy. The comfort has faded, leaving only the cool porcelain, the lingering scent, and the memory of shared moments. You realize how powerfully objects, once filled with purpose and warmth, can quickly become cold, empty vessels, holding only the ghosts of what they once contained. It's a poignant reminder of all things transient, the sweet brevity of comfort, and the quiet beauty of an ending. The last whisper of silk has long faded from the hall. A profound quiet settles, filling the drawing room like a heavy, unseen tide after the last departing guest. The last ember in the hearth casts a fitful, orange glow, doing little to dispel the encroaching chill that seems to gather in the vast, empty space. You sit alone, a solitary figure amidst the plush velvet and polished mahogany. The air, once thick with chatter and the mingling scents of perfume and tea, now feels thin, almost brittle. Every tiny sound seems magnified. The soft asterisk tick-tock of the grandfather clock in the hall, the distant rumble of a carriage on the street below, even the gentle rustle of your own gown as you shift slightly. You reach for your teacup, its porcelain still faintly warm, a ghost of the comforting heat it once held. The Darjeeling, now cool, offers its familiar, comforting bitterness, a taste savored in absolute solitude. You lift the small, silver spoon, stirring the few remaining drops. The gentle asterisk chink-chink asterisk against the porcelain echoes with surprising clarity, a solitary rhythm that seems to mark the passage of time. The rigidity of your corset, usually a public armor, now feels like a solitary embrace, a firm framework for your quiet contemplation. Your gaze sweeps over the perfectly arranged tea things. The untouched sandwiches, the half-eaten scone, the gleaming teapot that once held such warmth and promise. Each object, meticulously placed, serves as a poignant reminder of the recent company now gone. The empty chairs where animated conversations once flowed seem to hold the lingering impressions of absent friends. You find yourself moving with an almost amplified deliberation, each gesture imbued with a private meaning, a conversation with the self through ritual. This deliberate act of finishing your tea, alone in the vast quiet, is more than a simple conclusion to the afternoon. It is a quiet punctuation mark on a sentence read entirely to yourself. In this rigid world where every public gesture is weighed and measured, these private rituals become both a cherished companion and a stark mirror. They offer a solace, a reassuring framework against the profound quiet, but also highlight the very space within that longs for genuine connection, a fragile balance between comfort and the quiet ache of absence.